Hey everyone, it's Jack and Sam from Cultaholic.com. We have more wrestling news for you. None of it sadly involving 205 Live or NXT, but what a bloody week, Adam Cole.
Spoke about that all at length today, so I'm quite happy there's no NXT or 205 Live news, to be honest.
Check out Graded to see Sam's thoughts on that, especially that dastardly Adam Cole. How dare he?
He's wonderful.
But let's take a look now at some headlines. First of all, it seems as though a WWE tag team are staying with the company. Next up, we have injury updates on Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman after their explosive start to Monday Night Raw. And finally, an update on David Starr's controversial stomping of the WWE UK Championship at OTT. So first of all, let's check out Dave Meltzer and the Wrestling Observer newsletter, and he has reported that Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, the Good Brothers, the club, Too Sweet, have apparently agreed to, or may even have actually already signed their 5-year contracts. It seems as though they are there for the long term, which is, I guess, they were one of the teams, given their history and their past with like the Bullet Club and everything, and being sort of making their name outside of WWE largely. I mean, yes, Festus, but but largely making their name outside of WWE. It seemed like they might have been one of like the prime candidate teams to jump ship and go over to maybe All Elite or back to New Japan. Yeah. But it seems as though they have signed their new contracts, but it's a different situation to that of the Revival. The Revival, of course, are another, I'd say maybe the prime candidates to jump to AEW, given their feud online with the Young Bucks and everything, and the fact that that would be a dream tag team match. Apparently in the case of the Revival, it's more like their push alongside Shane McMahon is to keep them happy and try and encourage them to stay with the company and re-sign. Whereas in the case of Anderson and Gallows, it seems as though their push and their whole thing with AJ Styles was kind of more already written even before Paul Heyman was given powers. So this is maybe a reward for pledging their allegiance to the company rather than trying to convince them to stay in the case of the Revival. Yeah,
it would make sense. And I think the thing you've got to remember with them as well is maybe they were made an offer from somewhere else. We don't know that. We're probably never going to be privy to anything like that information-wise, unless it leaks out through Meltzer or somebody. But you know, like, they've got families, they're getting older, they can always go back to Japan before they retire. Retire for good and probably have, you know, a little run over there for a month or two. But yeah, I don't know, like, they've got AJ there. I think as long as they continue to put them into sort of a main storyline for a while, it's going to be good, because when they came in, they were so hot. And then it all just fell apart, and that was the biggest worry, that was that they were going to maybe this would happen again, or I don't know.
It seems as though now obviously Styles has turned heel on Raw, and they've reformed as a trio, or a quartet if you include Triple H, the newest member of the Bullet Club, Too Sweet. It seems like maybe, I don't know if this is just like me rampantly speculating, but Bischoff's in charge of SmackDown now. Maybe if they were to go over to SmackDown, he loves a big heel faction dressed in black and white.
Well, the thing is, like, if we have a heel faction, they need to be real heels. We can't have them walking around calling people nerds. We can't like make them horrible, big, menacing heels. And that's what I think would work well with the club. And you know, as I said, factions. Well, sorry, as you said, factions, and letting that grow organically, but not quite to NWO levels. But you know, make a stable. I miss stables.
I feel like they need to get Finn Balor involved. Because if they did, that's what people have been clamoring for ever since he joined WWE, or at least joined the main roster, was link him up with AJ Styles in the club, get them all together. It's like the Bullet Club. It's not exactly going to be the Bullet Club, but it's like that, isn't it?
And he hasn't really ever had a mega heel run yet.
Not in WWE. So, and he's such a great heel, as we saw in New Japan when he was Prince Devitt. So I'd like to see it. I'd be in favour of it. But the key news here, of course, is that Anderson and Gallows have either agreed to, or maybe have even re-signed with WWE for 5 years, which is, fair play to them.
Fair play.
Well done. And hopefully, because I think the storyline's interesting, hopefully that little push continues. Next up, various news sources have reported on the injury updates for Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman, because of course on Raw, they crashed through the back of the set, there were explosions everywhere and everything, and they played it up like Braun Strowman was actually injured. I think they said he may have ruptured his spleen, or something like that. He was rushed to a hospital, a local medical facility. Although they did use the term hospital actually on Raw.
Breaking kayfabe.
Interchangeably. Because hospitals, you can't acknowledge that. So apparently, like, as many of us probably suspected, they're both fine. It's a total work, but they did really try and play up that Strowman was injured because of it. They had both heels and baby faces on the show saying, I hope that Lashley and Strowman are okay, regardless of their like allegiance and everything, their dynamic. But it was more about, I guess, and it worked as well because it made a huge impression on social media and everything. It was more about opening the show with a bang, trying to get new viewers involved.
Literally.
A literal bang, yes. And if Strowman has to be out for a few weeks, if he is indeed going to be storyline injured with a ruptured spleen or whatever, then apparently the attitude is so be it. That's a good sacrifice to make for the purpose of this angle. And I think I agree as well. I think it was effective.
Yeah. And hopefully, if all the rumour and speculation is correct, hopefully, a new stage.
Oh, yes, of course, yeah. I think I'd like to see that as well.
Yeah.
I don't know what. I can't decide what.
So long as it's not big and neon or just a big flat screen, and so long as SmackDown and Raw are very different. I do think the SmackDown fist should make a return in like a new modern way.
Yes.
Or something like of that ilk.
Yeah.
Maybe get the big old Raw letters back or something.
Yeah, the Raw letters would
do
be
something
great.
cool, or like make it sort of like a modern version of the, the Warzone style play like thing. And
I'm not saying it has to be like really grimy and attitude era, but it definitely has to be a bit less sterile. I feel like it looks a bit too polished and too. Well, they're carbon copies of each other at the minute, aren't they, Raw and SmackDown? It would be nice for, as you say, a bit of distinction between the two. But yeah, hopefully it does lead to that. And well, I was going to say hopefully Strowman and Lashley are all right, but they are. So it's lovely.
So everything's good.
Good. Next up, back to Meltzer, because he's reported on David Starr's controversial belt stop. Now, if you don't know, I'm going to try and explain this as quickly as I can. So David Starr's been going through this feud with Walter for like years now, where he just can't beat him. His record's like 25 losses and 0 wins against Walter. He just can't beat him whatever he tries to do. He's been feuding with his former best friend Jordan Devlin in OTT, which all started because Devlin was on the verge of beating Walter. Starr just couldn't handle his best friend beating the guy he can't beat, so he yanked him out of the ring or the ref or something. It was a great storyline with a great video package as well. And then it all led to Devlin did eventually beat Walter. David Starr was going to be the next contender, and Devlin went, well, if you want a shot at this belt, you've got to beat who I put in front of you, and I'm going to choose Walter because you can never beat Walter. Then at WrestleRama 3 this week, Walter and David Starr had their match, and in that match, this was last week in fact, wasn't it, because that's when it all kicked off. In that match, David Starr at one point got a hold of Walter's WWE United Kingdom Championship and stomped on it, put it down and stomped on it, and everyone kicked off on Twitter. Everyone went, Pete Dunne was very unhappy. It led to, I don't think that was the only issue, but it was like the spark that like ignited all this.
The thing is like, the indie versus signed thing has been kicking off for a while on Twitter and bubbling away, and I think this is what really brought it into full boil. But I get it, like a belt is a prop. A wrestling belt means nothing. It's not like winning a gold medal at the Olympics. Like, you don't have to physically, it's like exert yourself to win it, like in an actual sporting competition. Like, it's given to you in a storyline. But at the same time, that is the highest honour of British wrestling, I guess. And like you. And
it's a symbol of what you've done in your career to deserve it as well. And
it's a symbol that the WWE has faith in the UK scene, and is pushing that. And I think part of me is like, it's just a prop. Part of me is just like, it's very, very disrespectful.
I can see both sides. Now, apparently, this is the latest update on this story. The reaction from WWE was not positive.
Of course.
And many wrestlers thought it was disrespectful, and the higher-ups weren't happy either. Apparently Walter and Starr made the call beforehand to shock people live, knowing that it would be a huge talking point. That's risky from Walter. Not from Starr, he's got nothing to lose, but from Walter, it's a bit like, ooh.
Well, I mean, it could mean that Starr goes in the WWE bad books. You know? Like, it's the whole thing is like,
I mean, he's been calling them out for their medical practices anyway, or for their insurance, medical healthcare. That's the word I was looking for. So I think he might already be.
Obviously, it puts Walter in hot water. It's just the type of thing where, like, you would run it by a rep, surely. Like, in a prior life when we, like, were involved with a wrestling company, it was like, oh, we have a Ring of Honor champion. You had to make sure you could have the title defended. Anything that involved the belt, you needed to get clearance to do. And just to do it on a whim, it's really dangerous. Like, it could have a knock-on effect for Walter, it could have a knock-on effect for Starr, and it could have a knock-on effect for the company. I
was going to say that the people that I feel most for in this aren't necessarily Walter or Starr. I think it's a bold move, and I think it was entertaining, definitely. But I do think that it risks making OTT look bad, and at the end of the day, they're the ones who've booked them.
Well, this is the thing, is WWE is going to bring the hammer down probably on OTT, like, why did you allow this? Why didn't you contact us? Why didn't? And they can say, like, we didn't know, because legitimately sometimes people go out to the ring and stuff's just done.
Go into business for themselves.
It's not even that. It's just sometimes stuff just happens. And, like, I don't know. It's just a very mucky, messy, weird situation. Like, it's disrespectful, but it's performance art.
At the same time, I've got really mixed feelings on it.
It's equivalent to Medusa putting it in the bin. Like, that's sort of similar to what it is.
Yes. At the same time, in related news as well, David Starr's independent brand launched today on Independence Day, July the 4th. Happy Independence Day to all of our American viewers.
Happy Independence Day, yeah.
Of course.
Will Smith saved the universe.
Yes.
And 1997?
It's about when they beat. It's about when they beat us, innit? Back in the day, when they bloody beat us, and they also beat us in the World Cup semi-final.
Is that the only war they've won without our help?
Don't say that. Don't say that at all. You've opened a big can of worms there. Happy Independence Day. Oh, say can you see and all that. And yeah, have a good one and check out David Starr's independent thing. Neville's pack has recently joined it. He's got a picture with the big independent T-shirts and everything. I'm not entirely sure what it's about, but I'll have a look.
It goes toward equity, toward, I guess, sort of unionising independent wrestling.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. You know what? Fair play. Yeah, that's cool stuff. But apparently the long and short of it is that angle was worked out by the wrestlers, not by OTT. And finally, let's take a look at some Fyter Fest numbers courtesy of The Observer. So Fyter Fest drew an average of 140,000 viewers on the Bleacher Report live streaming service, which is huge. I think that sounds really good.
Yeah.
Over 350,000 viewers tuned in at some point during the broadcast.
Okay.
Is that right? That's massive. The promotion streaming numbers were covered in a recent edition of The Observer. The show was considered a success apparently on Bleacher Report Live. The 3.5 hour broadcast average. Oh, well, it was free, wasn't it?
Yeah.
For them. The 3.5 hour broadcast averaged 140,000 viewers if you were to figure it like a television show. There were a total of 350,000 different viewers during the course of the live show, and those numbers likely increased significantly with replay viewing as well. What isn't known, however, is how many of those viewers were new sign-ups. Bleacher Report was hoping the show would net as many as 100,000 new sign-ups, but we don't know yet.
Yeah.
I think those numbers sound really good, though.
Yeah, they sound great. I mean, considering it was a free event for Americans, all they had to do was sign up.
Yeah.
Like, it's great. It's great for AEW. It's great for Bleacher Report.
Yeah.
It's not great for us.
No, but it's okay.
No, but it's fine. Hopefully one day we'll be able to enjoy things like this.
We had to pay less for a Double or Nothing. Well, we did. We were there, but British viewers had to pay less for Double or Nothing, which I think it's sort of a trade-off.
Evens itself, yeah.
But I think, considering it was it's not one of their, I don't know if they're gonna have a big four or whatever, but it wasn't like Double or Nothing or All Out's gonna be. It was definitely a B show, if that makes any sort of sense. Like Fight for the Fallen's going to also be one of less, it's obviously for a great cause and everything, but less stature than All Out will be. I still think it's really impressive that. I was mentioning to you, we were both saying before it happened, because it's in conjunction with this CEO gaming tournament, we were wondering, oh no, is it going to look a bit crap? Is it going to be in a convention room or whatever?
Yeah, I was sort of worried that it was going to just be like an AEW branded ring in like a convention hall, or like just sort of like a smaller setup with a curtain or something. But no, it looked really good. Yeah. It looked almost as good as Double or Nothing, and that was in the MGM Grand. So yeah, I mean, fair play to them. The lads. Fight for the Fallen is next weekend. It's come around fast, but don't worry, because then All Out is like a month and a half after that. Right. We'll have a little bit of a breather. I'm sure they'll tease lots of big matchups coming up. But so far, if I can remember as many as I can of Fight for the Fallen, the cards looking like, well, there's Kenny Omega versus Shima. Yep. There's Hangman Page versus Kip Sabian. Okay. There is, what's the big one? There's Cody and Dustin versus the Young Bucks. Right. Of course. There's a six-man that was announced today, which is Jimmy Havoc, Darby Allin, and Joey Janela, three really hardcore lads, against the heel team of MJF, heel team 6, MJF, Sean Spears, and Sammy Guevara as well. That's pretty good as well. Yeah. And what's the other one I've missed off? Brandy Rhodes versus Ali. And on Nightmare Family, Brandy Rhodes cut a bit of a... She did a long emotional promo. She burst into tears during it as well. Right. About her figure skating background. She used to be an ice skater when she was a kid. Oh, wow. And there's footage of her as like a kid and then as a teenager, like doing all the spins and that. She's good. But it was all about, like, it was quite effective. I guess it's similar to a Cody one where they're really honest. It's like to the camera, like confessional style thing. And she's saying like, my little rink where I trained, I was the best. I was the best one. My coaches would always say she's the best one. Everyone loved me because of how hard I worked. And then it would come to a competition and I'd mess it up every time. She told me how she used to choke all the time. And there's footage of her like falling on her ass and stuff. I was like, it's intense. But I think she went a little bit crazy towards the end. She was like, that's why I've been talking down to Ali. It's not about her, it's about me. And I was like, it's getting all intense. So yeah, looking forward very much to that show. And we of course will be covering it and everything as we did for Fyter Fest. And can you think of any more things? No, I think that's it.
check out Prog on the Tyne on Saturday.
Oh,
Progress' show.
Yep. First
First show ever in Newcastle upon Tyne. The main event is Walter versus Eddie Kingston. If you're in the area, come along because it's going to be good at the O2 Academy. I'm looking forward to it a lot. I'll be there, and Matthew will be there.
I'm away.
You're away.
Yeah.
Ross is busy. Pachi's bit. Me and Matthew will be there. So look out for us. Thanks very much for watching, and let us know what you think in the comments section down below. You can follow Cultaholic on Twitter at Cultaholic and on Facebook at facebook.com/Cultaholic. If you enjoy what we do, then please do check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Cultaholic, where you can pledge. And don't forget, of course, most importantly of all, to hit subscribe and to join us.